Okay. I'm not really gonna bother like studying everybody's new abilities yet because, yeah. Alright, so where we left off, you guys had just dispatched these 3 mouthless, dark-cloaked creatures. Humanoids. People. If you remember, one of them in the sort of throes of death had fired something across the room, sort of a leather, maybe forearm-sized tubular object that has landed in this square here. Sort of bounced off the wall. You guys heard some groans and steps coming up the stairs, and you have seen this zombie just start to emerge around the top of the stairs, but you can hear footsteps very heavily coming up the stairs behind them. Let's pretend that let's pretend, because this is true, that sort of every encounter is both a combat encounter and not a combat encounter. Do you know what I'm saying there? Like, you guys don't necessarily have to assume you need to run in and attack this thing. I mean, it's a zombie, so clearly you're probably not going to reason with it. But I want you guys to think like you can pretty much do anything at this point. It's not moving that quickly comparatively. So I'm going to give you guys sort of a moment to react to this before, if combat's going to start again. Do you know what I'm saying? Is there any initial reactions? Are you guys still in the throes of combat and you're just going to rush forward and attack this thing? Or is there something... Do you want to try and loot corpses quickly, or is there? Do you know what I mean? Like, you guys have a moment here.
I don't know. I guess, like, how much time do we have, like, from when we kill the last guy to when that zombie appears? I guess
he came around the corner essentially. To be honest, I had sort of expected the zombie to get the last attack on the dark creatures. Or the dark humanoids. Like, they're not associated with one another. So he's fairly quick up the steps behind the hooded humanoids. It's just zombies move fairly slowly. I mean, that's just basic zombie knowledge. You know that.
Well, okay, this is going to be a little out of character, but my assumption here is that you're dropping a plot hook that we can investigate the thrown object.
I'm not, actually.
What?
I'm literally am not. It's just like, I just want to get more in the concept of you guys can do whatever you want. I haven't decided how this encounter is going to go. But there are, I mean, in this last time I said these 3 guys came up the stairs, and I feel like because it's on a map that everybody gets combat in their head, where you could have attempted to speak to these guys, but nobody did, right? Because it's like, okay, we're on a map, we're doing combat now. Where like I want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to do whatever you want, and just because we're on a map, you don't necessarily have to think combat. Literally, Iron Lung, I literally have not tossed you a hook. Like,
all right,
I'm just sort of introducing the fact that you could do whatever you
want. We killed 3 mouthless farmers coming up the steps.
No comments.
I feel like standing over the corpse of the guy we had just killed, which I believe was number 1, I would turn around and kind of confusedly look at it and then at Malik, because in Iron's mind, it looks similar to the thing that was in the courtyard, but Iron has such a limited knowledge of, like, undead.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
About it,
I mean,
whispers that I'm kind of
Yeah.
confused and looking for some guidance here. I'm not really ready to make a decision.
Sure.
Okay, so you said that you intended for the zombie to finish the guy off, but do our characters know that?
No.
Like,
No.
okay, so I'm still, I don't know, I don't think I've unwinded, or my character has unwinded from the combat yet, and kind of turns and sees this zombie, and
Sure. It would
he's
be
ready to
completely
keep
natural
going.
that you would just attack it. I was just sort of starting to
Gotcha.
introduce the option that you guys can do whatever you want, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Could run and do a backflip off the wall if you want, you know, like if you pass your skill check, like I don't know, not that that would achieve anything. I'm just saying like there's options open here. You could always try and run and hide. You could always try and communicate. You could do whatever you wanted, you know. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, if you just want to attack the zombie, you're more than welcome to. Like,
Okay. Do we have to roll initiative, or
yeah,
I
if
guess
we're gonna take that route, then yeah, I'm gonna say we're gonna put some initiative on the table.
I mean, I know you're probably saying that for like a future time when this occurs, but I
Yeah.
think it's pretty straightforward this time.
Sure. Yeah. It's just
And,
I really.
and can Vengar see it from where he's standing?
Yeah. Sure. I mean,
mean,
if he can't now, he will be able to in 2 seconds. Do you know what I mean? Like not even a whole combat round. So I'm just gonna roll all the initiatives here. Okay, Malik, it's your turn.
Can you delay your initiative? Is that possible?
You can delay your turn, or you can delay an action rather. Like, tell me what it is you want to do. Like, you could say, I'm going to wait for the monster to come into range with me, and then I'm going to attack it with this ability. But if the creature never came into range with you, then you would lose your turn. Do you
Well,
know
he
what I
can
mean?
delay, which puts his turn off until later in the initiative order.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was reading. The reason I bring this up is because I was reading about my character,
Okay.
and my abilities kind of would not favor me being like the first person to go in battle.
Right. If you would rather let Vanguard and Iron go first, that's fine.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Okay. So that would make it Vanguard's turn.
okay, so I mean, I used speed
Yeah, I
up
saw,
free
yeah.
encounter. Yeah. Okay, I mean, and so from an RP perspective, I think probably just having wound down from the previous combat, at the very least, I would be standing and watching this thing come up the stairs, and just looking for what it's just come up the stairs. Is it going to sort of move towards Malik? Is it going to look around?
Well, it had started to, and now that you've gotten right close to it, I
Yes.
mean, it's dropped its eyes on you and is sort of lurching forwards at you.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, alright, so I'm just going to use. So I will mark this creature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using Twisted Eye.
Okay.
So basically, just ran over, swung my sword. I guess hit, and let's go. Blah blah blah.
Damn, son.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll post up with that on Facebook.
So, yeah, Iron, you just sort of like feel this gust of wind sort of blowing by you as Vengar speeds. You know, you just sort of spun around and was assessing the situation, and Vengar, in almost a blur of motion, goes swinging by you in the act of, you know, pulling out his sword on the way and just careening down through the zombie's shoulder, giving it just a massive attack. Leaving you sort of standing there bewildered, but it's your action. Unless Vanguard's got something else, but I think that's pretty much it.
Oh, actually, no, that's fine. Well, actually, yes, I'm gonna shift back to go into the room.
Okay. That's a good idea.
And just try to.
Iron?
So I'm still kind of processing like that the zombie's even entering the room
Mm-hmm.
as Vengar is like already blurring past me. So
Mhm.
I just almost confusedly just charge after Vengar
Sure.
to attack.
You see him going in without thinking. Just, "Ah!"
As I get there, I'm like screaming and I try to knee him in the hip.
Sure. Well, so the zombie being as confused as a zombie can be, just sort of grasping for anything. Vengar coming up close to him and him reaching his arms out and hitting him hard enough though, and Vengar jumping back, Iron Lung just careening across the room, grabbing hold of the zombie, sort of squeezing its arms in around it so it can't grab it, and just driving his knee directly up into his chest, sort of tossing it back against the wall, and it's left in a bit of a zombie daze. Malik?
Okay. Sorry. Iron Lung, you probably read more about this than I have. How does the laying initiative work exactly?
You drop back in the initiative table.
Permanently?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Like,
Gotcha.
do you want to drop below the zombie? Is that what you're saying?
I guess I forgot that we're not actually at full health when we began this, so I'm retarded. But I think I'm just gonna attack the zombie
Okay.
with my ability, the power
Oh,
of
yes.
fire,
That one.
the sacred flame.
Sacred flame. Okay. Damn.
And
Right. And you're
one
gonna
ally you
give
can see
somebody
chooses either to
two
make a save. Okay,
2 hit
so
points. Yeah. So
Iron Lung, I would like you to gain temporary hit points equal to my charisma modifier.
I'm doing it right now.
Temporary hit points last till end of encounter.
Yes.
Now, what happens if temporary hit points would otherwise have saved your life,
They will save your life.
and you are reduced
Temporary
to
hit
what?
points act exactly like regular hit points. They just don't last past. You can't go above your health.
That would be 3, not 2,
Why?
since I fucked around. With
Oh,
my
you
character.
okay?
yes.
Okay.
No, but I mean, like, say, so if they go at the end of the combat encounter, I assume,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
if at the end of this encounter, Iron was at 1 hit point, what would happen? He would just stay at 1 hit point.
If Iron was at 1 hit point, why can't I just as temporary now? If Iron was at 1 hit point, and combat ended, he would have 1 hit point until he rested, and then he would get to use surges.
Okay.
He's not gonna it's not like you've got 1 temporary hit point, and first of all, your temporary hit points reduce first.
until you're reduced to 0 or until you take a rest.
Okay.
So they
And
knock
and
away.
if he takes damage, it subtracts the temporary hit points first.
Okay.
So he's never gonna have like 0 hit points with 2 temporary, and then take a rest and instantly die or something. That's not gonna happen if that's what you're
Okay. So
asking.
temporary hit points are actually superior to a heal.
It's like a power road shield.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That never dissipates.
that never.
and-
Yeah, until combat's
rest.
over. Yeah, I mean,
So
And-
It's not combat, it's when you rest.
when you rest, sure.
and just to add another question on top of that, can you, if you increase, like if I were to do that again and Iron Lung had not taken damage, would he get 6 temporary hit points instead of 3? Like just added on top of that?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And do you want to move action, or are you good?
I'm going to position myself strategically over here.
Okay. So Malik holding up his holy symbol, which looks like what, by the way, Malik? Just to get that out of the way.
Just like an Ankh, I suppose, is what
Okay.
I've imagined it as.
Are you a priest of Torm, I think?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember, is Torm like an iron gauntlet or something?
Yes, it is. Should I carry a gauntlet around my neck? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I would think that would probably make more sense than
Okay.
an Ankh.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, some metallic. I don't know. Are you saying a full-sized gauntlet, or like it would be kind of cool, a dwarf with like this
Yeah, actually, let's do that.
full-sized metal gauntlet
It's like a
hanging around?
gauntlet gripping onto a chain.
Mm-hmm.
He wears one gauntlet on his right
Yeah,
hand.
that's pretty dope. I'm glad we had this little talk. So yeah, Malik holding up his gauntlet and shouting a few curses of Torm at this zombie. Sort of a light glow encapsulates him and a little bit of Iron Lung as well during combat. And with that, this zombie's taken a substantial beating and sort of lumbers forward, but you then realize why he's lumbering forward is because he's being pushed out of the way. As you hear more steps and more groans coming up the stairs, you guys realize this like massive, just like this is not like one zombie coming up the stairs. This is like a horde of undead. You can't be sure exactly how big, as you can only see like the 4 of them right now, but you can hear many, many more coming up the steps. And with that, he gets kind of pushed out of the way and reaches out towards Iron Lung, attempting to grab him, which he does.
I'm supposed to have awesome reflex. Light armor.
So he does reach out, grabbing Iron with both arms, and yeah, so you're grabbed, Iron, which, I don't know, I think you can, yeah, you can try and, I don't think you can move until you break the grab. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to say at the very most you can move half your movement rate.
As immobilized.
Yeah, I think it does too. Just by like basic rule set, or just by basic logic here, this zombie's like taking a massive amount of damage and it's just grabbed a creature like twice the size. So I'm going to say if you wanted to like shift, you could shift and pull him with you, but that's about it. Yeah, and we're going to say that's the end of the turn.
Oh, he also took the 7 damage.
Oh, right, from your from being marked, right? That's what causes it. So he does reach out, grab Iron, and sort of take a bite out of him. But as he does, he just sort of like falls limp. Nobody entirely sure why.
Nice.
Dropping to the floor. So starting the next turn, move him off the initiative table. Okay, well this works because they all rolled higher than your previous rolls, so I'm just going to do them first and then you guys. Okay, don't even bother rolling. Like, we're just going to go with your previous rolls, which were all under 14. So.
Okay.
And I think the order we had in here was Vengar, Iron, Malik. Okay. So the zombies continue to like push forwards, making more and more room for their companions underneath them. We're going to say this one moves forward, so he's going to take an opportunity attack from Iron, which he can resolve right now if you want to. Iron. On number 3, opportunity attack. This guy, I'm just going to move back out of the way just for ease's sake. They're going to walk all over him. Nice. So he sort of lumbers forwards quickly, being pushed by his companions as he does, opening his self for taking a strike from Iron. These guys moving in. More guys coming up behind. More more zombies.